full rebuild. You are not in a quarterback. You're not the Jacksonville Jaguars where Trevor Lawrence comes in and you already have Christian Kirk. You already you start to build this team around the number 1 overall draft pick in your quarterback. I get the logic of it where you trade Fields, draft a quarterback this year, and then you give yourself 2 more years on your rebuild because you don't have to pay a quarterback in 3 years versus 5 years. Mm-hmm. I get that. But if Justin Fields is better than Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, Will Levis, Anthony Richardson, which he is, and you already have him with this offensive regime with Getsy, your offensive coordinator, there's no logical reason for why you would trade him other than we want 2 more years of the quarterback position being under rookie control.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like you said, like Justin's.
It's the only one.
And
for all his
they
flaws,
have the cap space too.
And that's the other thing. They have so much cap space that shouldn't even be an argument that people are making. They literally can buy
gutted that team.
A new team.
They gutted that team so hard.
And you know what? They gutted it, and
they did it right.
At least at this point, it looks like they gutted it the right way. That's
yeah,
exactly
they did it right.
Saying.
Like I was hoping the Vikings were going to do something like this, where they just
So I mean, have there been missteps in the last year? Yeah, I don't think trading the 32nd overall pick for Chase Claypool was a good idea. I don't think anybody thinks. I don't think Chase Claypool thinks that was a good idea. But where the Bears are at, Justin Fields is your quarterback. Trade the first overall pick, and we can go through scenarios for that next if you want to. But the goal should be go get your premium positions in free agency.
Easy, man.
Sorry. I just get very amped when I'm talking about the Chicago Bears. Go get your premium positions in free agency.
Mm-hmm.
Go draft to build out the rest of your roster.
Absolutely.
Because you need more than just a quarterback.
Yeah.
So, and the return, and we're not even talking about the fact that the return for the first overall pick is going to be greater than the return for Justin Fields. And it's not even going to be close.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, if it's really about getting your quarterback, you already have him in-house, and you just go, you trade the first overall pick to any one of the 4 or 5 suitors in the top 15 that would do it, and you have the ability to then get picks this year, which you don't have one until the 56th after number 1 overall. You can get picks next year, and then there's enough in the free agency class, and you have enough money to go fill out your roster, there. So
yeah, your guys are kind of in a position where, like, you're in rebuilding mode, but it's like quick rebuilding mode.
Like, they are in a full-on gut tear-down rebuild, like you said. But it's like in Mario Kart, like when you're coming around a bend and you're like in 4th place, but somebody like goes over that bridge and like there's like the accelerator booster to go over that bridge. You can the Bears are in position to catch that accelerator booster and just pass people.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
They can. They can have the quickest.
That's the way to explain it to my nephew. He
Yeah,
really likes Mario Kart.
You're coming through and you go over like the 5 little arrows that are going like this, and it just shoots you. The Bears have the ability to be just shot in front of a lot of teams that are maybe like 1 tier ahead of them right now. Are the Bears 1 draft and 1 offseason away from being Super Bowl contenders or even really contenders for their own division? Probably not. Probably 2 years, 3 years away from that max. But they have every single tool and resource to get there. It's just a matter of if they will get there. That's the part that sucks is it's the Bears, so I have absolutely no confidence that they will.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, but it's there. They have, and it starts with keeping or trading the first overall pick and keeping Justin Fields.
I was listening to the score this morning, as you were, or yesterday.
Of course.
And there was a fan that called in, and he was like giving the Bears recommendations for what to do with their draft pick this year. They said they should trade your draft pick, move back, and get a couple of picks for next year, another first-round pick at least, so they have some ammo to make a move for Caleb Williams if Fields has a bad year.
That's such a.
So like theoretically, I don't hate that idea.
Yeah.
Mainly because I've said this in our Slack channels, I think Caleb Williams is a generational quarterback prospect. I literally think that he is like the next Burrow, the next Mahomes. Like I think he's that good. The only problem is whoever drafts 1 next year, they're going to need a quarterback, and you're going to need like the trade of all trades.
Yeah.
To convince someone to trade.
It's true.
Caleb Williams. It's just too much of it's a big risk to try and even like plan for that.
Yeah.
You would just kind of need some miracle or some real big chips to fall your way. But at the end of the day, nobody likes tanking.
No.
And I don't think
Yeah.
there's any Bears fans that.
Dolphins definitely didn't.
Yeah, right?
They got fucking robbed. No.
So, like, if for me, it's just like, why? And I firmly believe that front offices don't enjoy tanking either. Like, they know
No.
the implications
Yeah.
of it. And that's why when most of them do tank, they don't explicitly say it, and all they do is they say, okay, well, this is our plan for a rebuild. It's going to suck for this period, but then it's going to get better. Nobody's ever like, yeah, we're just going to fucking be in the gutter for the next 4 years. Sorry for my language. I know your nephew watches this, but the Bears just really bring it out in me. The Bears just the front office has no need to dig deeper
Yeah.
into
The tank.
this tank.
Yeah.
Like, you've reached the bottom.
Do you think that they?
You
think-
had 3 wins last year. Like, what else are you gonna do? Go winless? Like,
Yeah.
So, personally, I think that while that's fun because I love Caleb Williams and it's gonna be a conversation topic for however long. I just don't think it's feasible.
Mm-hmm.
As much as I wouldn't hate it.
Who's going to be drafting number 1 next year? What's your prediction?
Texans, baby.
And if the Texans do draft number 1,
His team,
Oh yeah, I mean it could.
the Colts.
here's the deal: if the Colts draft, say, Stroud or Young this year, and they get the number 1 pick next year, are they taking Williams?
So this is the tough thing with the Colts because there's a lot of buyout type quarterbacks, 1 year quarterbacks that you could bring in and plan for something like that. But like they've been doing that since Andrew Luck retired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think that front office can really afford to sell the fan base on another 1 year Band-Aid and say we're gonna go get and draft a quarterback next year. Like I think they have to, which is why I think the Colts are the most likely trade partner for the number 1 overall
sense.
pick, is because you have an organization that was abysmal last year on all fronts, from the owner being just a drunk emotional idiot
Damn.
to their front office, like to their general manager being like, I'm pretty sure he's got interviews where he's like, and this is not something to joke about, but like he's like, I've really been like down on myself and almost like battling depression because like I haven't been able to get this thing right. And don't get me wrong, like Andrew Luck put them in a very difficult position, but like they still made the playoffs with Phillip Rivers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's really when they went for Carson Wentz is when the problems
Yeah,
truly
that was-
started.
Yep.
Which is no surprise that he released again today. But
Again.
I just think the front office can no longer go out and be like, okay, here's a vet that can come in and fix things. I think you really finally just have to say, okay, we need to go draft our guy.
Yeah.
And moving up to number 1, especially when you have big contracts that you're maybe going to release or look to offload, like a DeForest Buckner or something like that. The Bears need defensive line. The Bears will move back to 4 in a heartbeat. The Bears have their quarterback. You got to jump the Texans because the Texans are absolutely drafting a quarterback. You have no idea what's going to happen at 3 with the new coaching staff. They have their quarterback because Kyler Murray's not going anywhere. So, like, at 4, you really have 2 slots that people are going to try and jump in front of you for quarterbacks. And I don't know how many teams feel this quarterbacks class is, but I don't really trust Ohio State quarterbacks in general. Justin
fair.
Fields seems that he's an anomaly, and even now, I mean, Justin Fields struggles throwing the football at this point in his career. Makes plays like anyone else in the league, but he struggles
Great on his
throwing the football. When's the last Ohio State quarterback that's been good in the league?
Mm-hmm.
I'll wait.
I
'cause
guess if you want to consider
none.
Joe Burrow, but
exactly.
That's right.
Joe Burrow, we're splitting hairs on that, but like
Yeah.
all of them during our lifetime have not been good.
JT Barrett? Nope.
Nope.
Braxton Miller?
Braxton Miller, nope.
JT
Terrell
Barrett was a
Pryor,
receiver
no.
at one
Terrell
point.
Pryor.
Like Cardell Jones, nope. Like
Didn't
they just-
Terrell Pryor didn't he transition to another
wide receiver.
position? Yeah.
He was wide receiver, and he actually wasn't terrible. But it was just, so Stroud comes with that label. Bryce Young's got the size issue. He's, you're hoping he's Drew Brees, but I mean, he's small. He's 6 foot and he weighs under 200 pounds. Like at the NFL level, that's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
Yep.
Will Levis, I mean, I typically don't trust quarterbacks who come out of absolutely nowhere to then somehow all of a sudden be like a top 3 pick.
Mitch
Looking at
Trubisky.
you, Zach Wilson. But like, so there's really no quarterbacks at the top of this class where I don't know if there's going to be a gold rush for them. So I think the Colts can really just play it slow, find the guy that they love, and then just call the Bears and be like, okay, we want to move to 1 so we can take our guy right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. The quarterback class is just not that great in recent years in comparison. Next year, it's looking a lot better.
It's nothing like it was when it was Mahomes, Watson, Trubisky. It's nothing like it was when it was.
Just throwing Trubisky in there.
Yeah, you know, yeah, you got to.
Which is unfortunate as a Colts fan when I know we're gonna draft a quarterback this year, and
You know what? Watch Mitchell Trubisky be your quarterback.
I'm not in love
next
with
season.
You
him.
never
Oh,
know.
gosh.
You
So-
never know.
Because the
I'd rather have
Steelers
Derek
are going to
Carr.
go with Kenny Pickett. Trubisky was on a 2-year deal, but basically the money's all been paid up now for him and that. So, Mitch Trubisky's going to sign somewhere. I just, I don't be surprised if it's the Colts.
I can see it happening this year.
I'd rather have Derek Carr in Indy.
Well,
Oh, that's
look,
right. He's available.
I think he might go to the Jets.
I think he's going to go to the Saints.
It's not bad either.
He already
Didn't he
visited there,
decline a
right?
trade?
So he basically, the Saints were like, we want to sign you. Like the second he was released. But, he's a man of God.
Right.
So, he's got to pray on it.
Yeah.
He's got to
But it's the
speak,
Saints.
He's got to speak to his Lord and Savior. And, God's got to show him what
Right.
the correct move is here. But he basically said he's going to talk to everybody who will talk to him and then make a decision from there. So even though the Saints were like, we'll do this.
He's kind of, I don't know, like, it's not like everyone's just fanning, oh my God, Derek Carr's available.
There's a reason why
No
people
one's-
aren't like banging the door down. and be
Right.
Like, we need Derek Carr now. No.
Yeah.
So
Gosh.
He's a
Derek
nice
Carr's
little
not going to
piece.
sign anywhere until Aaron Rodgers makes his decision. I can tell
Probably.
you that.
That's
right
probably
now.
what he's doing.
So I think just the biggest thing is if we're going to kind of round it out on the Bears is it's a team that is at the bottom, but they're making their way up. I think that if Aaron Rodgers is not back in Green Bay, they will finish ahead of the Packers next year in the NFC North. I truly believe that.
No,
The Bears
no
would?
faith in Jordan Love?
Well,
man.
I
The
guess.
Packers don't even have faith in Jordan Love.
I mean,
But
I like J Lo, but
J-Lo.
I
just
don't, I don't
think-
know, bro.
I just think it's fairly obvious, or it should be fairly obvious, that Justin Fields is your quarterback
Yeah.
and you build around it.
Mhm.
It's foolish to trade him versus trading the pick.
Absolutely. Makes for good TV talk, but yeah.
Does it even make for good TV? It just makes for TV
It makes for
talk.
TV talk,
It just
yeah.
makes for TV talk. Maybe it was fine like the first conversation, but now every time I look over, I'd get up and it's the same regurgitated conversation. And, Booger McFarland and Damian Wood are just going back and forth. They need offensive line. They need defensive line. They need... And I'm just like...
Is Jeff Saturday back yet?
Back on TV.
No. Just Saturday actually took a full-time position as Jim Irsay's assistant.
No, he didn't.
No, but...
Okay.
I actually believe
That
that.
was, I believe that.
That's what
honestly,
I-
dude. That was.
Right?
He would totally
It's
do that.
believable.
Gosh.
No, he would totally do that.
I love it
Just
when
the
he got
whole
fired.
Jeff Saturday
Assistant
thing.
GM.
Just anything.
Was-
You can believe anything that happens now.
I couldn't believe that they even...
What a boneheaded move.
I couldn't even believe that they thought about giving him an extension after
Yeah.
what happened this year. Like the
Didn't-
fact that he made it to the second round of interviews and was a finalist
Didn't
is
he win his first game though?
Rid-
Like,
He beat the Raiders in his first game.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, he beat the
Then he
Raiders.
lost 7 in a row.
And then they lost
Right.
7, and they lost those 7 in
They gave the Eagles a really good fight. though.
embarrassing
They did.
fashion,
They almost
except
beat,
for like one of those.
they almost beat
games.
the Eagles, and they should have beat the Vikings.
So now, if they beat the Eagles, I feel like they would be like, "Oh, extension right away."
You would have gotten the extension at
Yeah.
halftime, and then lost the game in the second half.
oh,
They just
man.
gave a pen.
Yeah, just like you write whatever you think is fair.
But
Name your price.
Yeah.
Team Justin Fields over here.
All right, Brian wants to stick with Fields. Understandable.